On this edition of Warikoo, we will go about how do we manage our time effectively. Time is the only asset that money can't buy. It doesn't matter how rich you are, you cannot buy time. And it's amazing how many people, when I ask them, hey, how is it that you're not doing this? Or how is it that you're not focused on this? Give me the reason. I don't have time. And that makes me instantly respond. Who in this world has more time than you? Can you name one person, just one person, who has more than 24 hours than you do? Whether it's Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Narendra Modi or anyone else that you are inspired by, look up to, or feel that they do a lot in their day, they have the exact same 24 hours that you do as well. So it's not about time. It's about what you do with that time. And I want to leave you with 3 concepts that I have come to realize about time that I feel are very important for everyone to know. And I have personally benefited a lot from it, and I'm sure you will as well. Number 1, time is an allocation. What does that mean? Essentially what it means was, if you think of time as a 2x2 matrix, and on the x-axis are things that are important or not, and on the y-axis are things that are urgent or not. Almost everyone will tell you that you should focus on things that are both urgent and important. What are things that are urgent? Things that are urgent are things that need to be done right away, things that need your attention right now. And what are important? Important are things that are important. Important in your worldview, important in your frame of reference, whatever it may be. And people tell you that if there's anything that's not urgent or not important, drop it. Don't do that. And I feel that that is a very bad approach towards time. Because what it does is it makes us feel guilty about doing things that we do normally in our life. Let me give you an example. If you want to speak to your friend, it's not urgent. It's not that they have a burning issue or anything. And it's not even important. You just feel like it. It's been a while. You want to catch up. The framework of urgent important, which is the most important and the most widely discussed framework for time management, tells you don't do it. But you're a human, right? So you want to speak to your friend. You just want to catch up. Or you just want to watch Netflix. Or you just want to binge watch for maybe a few hours or maybe even a few minutes. But psychologically, you're feeling guilty because you're doing something that the world is telling you is an absolute waste of time. And in my definition, you should do it. The question isn't whether you do it or not. The question is, how much do you do it? How much of your time do you spend in the 4 boxes of urgent and important? And here's the thing. You have to discover that through your own personal journey. It's a personal discovery for each and every one of you. And it's unique for everyone. I personally feel that if I spend most of my time on things that are not urgent but important, what are those things? Working out, thinking, reading, writing, maybe even creating content. All of those things are not urgent, but in my view, they're very important. And I need to do that literally every day of my life. If that's where I spend most of my time, I feel the most energetic. I feel the most driven. I feel the most at peace. I feel centered. And that's what I know is my allocation. And that doesn't mean I don't spend time on things that are not urgent or important. I do watch television once in a while. I do things which are just whiling away with no purpose, nothing attached to it. But I also know what is the sweet spot for me. And if I were to give you specific numbers in a week of all the hours that I'm awake, I spend close to 50% of my time on things that are not urgent but important. And about 15%, 1/5, on things that are neither urgent nor important. And I know that the mix of these is what gives me the balance that I want. The mix of this gets me to my optimal energy levels. And why is that important? It's important because of the second concept. And that is time is energy. This is a mind-blowing concept. It just blew my mind when I came across it the first time several years back, and then the more I'd read about it, the more I realized it applies in my life, the more fascinated I was. It basically says that When we say we don't have time, what we essentially mean is that we don't have energy. That's what we mean. Time is a manifestation of energy. Let me give you an example. Let's say you had a late night on Friday. You went for a really nice dinner, you drank a bit, and then you slept really late. And even while you were sleeping, you were like browsing through your phone and so on and so forth. And then comes Saturday. And you have lined up everything like a clockwork time management ninja. You have everything scheduled, whether it's your exercise, whether it's your reading, whether it's eating the right breakfast, whether it's getting your nap time, whatever the case may be. But because you had such a almost horrible Friday night, where you drank yourself silly, you stuffed yourself with food, you binge watched a lot of things before going to bed, you didn't get a good restful sleep, your day is gone. Your day is gone. You could be the best time management expert and have lined up everything on a Saturday the way people will tell you you should manage your time, and none of that would work because your energy is just not aligned. And that is just a very simple example. So what energy am I talking about? Energy is basically in 4 forms. Physical energy, and that comes from how much do you sleep, when do you sleep, how much do you eat, when do you eat, what do you eat, and so on. Mental energy, which is, do you meditate? Do you actually have mental balance? Do you actually feel positive about yourself, about life? Are you an optimist? Do you feel or look forward to doing things and making yourself feel good about it? Emotional energy, which is, do you actually have emotional stability? Do you respond well with emotions? Do you have empathy? Are you able to experience emotions and not shut them down? Are you able to acknowledge and be aware of the emotions that you express and feel, and not just say, I shouldn't be feeling this? And then finally, spiritual energy, which is, are you honest? Are you truthful? Are you doing the right things and you don't lie? You don't betray? You don't judge? You are at peace with who you are. And when you think about these 4 things, and then go back to the first concept of time as allocation, you recognize that the mix of time that you spend while you're awake determines your energy. If you spend a lot of your time on things that are not urgent and not important, you will by design have poor energy. And if you spend all your time on things that are urgent and important, and you may think that that is the right thing to do, you will still not be at the right energy, because you wouldn't have given yourself enough space to experience the other sides of life, which are just as important, if not equally important. So when you think of time as energy, you begin to see so much better, because now it's about, if I eat right, if I sleep on time, if I meditate, if I do things that make me happy, if I'm nice to myself, if I think positively, if I do not judge myself, I suddenly have the will to do so much more. And that by itself creates time. That by itself gets me the energy that I require to do a lot more with my day, with my time, than I would have achieved if I were to just use the same choices that I did as previously. And that is such a fascinating concept. And then finally, time is money. Time is money. And it's shocking how many of us think that time is unlimited and it is not precious. It's like we always think that we have perpetuity. We are immortal, that we're going to live forever, when that's not the truth. We almost think like nothing wrong is going to happen to us, and we can while away our time and not think of it as something which is going away every single second. Let's say you earn a salary. Let's say you earn about 50,000 rupees a month or so, and you work for 8 days a week, you work for 8 hours a day, and you work for 5 days a week. So if you were to just calculate what your per hour cost is for the time that you work, it'll come to about 300 rupees or so. So the next time You think that you pay 500 rupees for a Netflix account for a month and you watch Netflix every single day for an hour? You are kidding yourself. You're fooling yourself. Because the true cost of Netflix for you is not 500 rupees for that 1 hour that you watch it every day. It's actually 9,000 rupees, because that's how much you spend on not just Netflix, but the time that you spend on Netflix. And a lot of question comes instantly, which is, oh, but that was time that I was not working. So if I wasn't working, it's not that I could have earned that 300 rupees additional for that 1 hour. No, you couldn't. You're right about that. But here's how you think about it. What you do with the time that's left out of your work, or whatever it is that you give, that gives you the economic value of your time, you use that time to upskill yourself and thus increase or attempt to increase the value of your time. You use that time to do a side gig that earns you additional money. You use that time to work on projects or to get close to the sun as possible. Work with really smart people, people that you would love to learn from. And that by itself, over time, will increase the value of your time. But if you were to think of your time as just something that cannot be optimized for outside of the working hours that you have, you're always going to have a very poor value for your time. Stop renting your time out. This is something that Naval Ravikant, who's a great thinker, expressed once, and it's just so true. Stop renting your time. Because as much as you keep renting your time, you'll always earn, or you'll always be valuable just by virtue of how many hours you put in it. That's not the best use of your time. The best use of your time is it possible for you to earn even when you're sleeping? Is it possible for you to earn even when you're on holiday? Is it possible for you to earn even when you're not working? And it is. It is, but for that, you have to start thinking of time as money. You have to start thinking of what is it that I can create? What is it that I can own? What is it that I can do with my time that increases the value of my time and thus allows me the freedom to spend that time on things that are more important or that give me the peace and the joy and the comfort and the fulfillment that I'm looking for or strive towards. I'll leave you with a very simple message. Imagine that every day when you got up, you had 86,400 rupees deposited in your bank account. And the beauty is, irrespective of what you did with it the next day, it will again be 86,400 rupees. And whatever was there the previous day would be down to zero. Every single day, you will get 86,400 rupees in your bank account. What will you do with it? For those who think that the only purpose for that money to come into your bank account is to spend it, and to spend it in a way that you go for shopping, you go for movies, you go for eating out, you do all the things that make you happy because it comes back the next day, the truth is you will never have more than what you get. But for those who are like, you know what, even if I get this every day, I still have 86,400 rupees in my bank account today. And if I were to spend that wisely, not go about splurging it, but instead go about investing in it, not go about buying shit that I don't need, but actually going about putting that money into assets that will make money for me in the future, then even if tomorrow another 86,400 comes in, I will have a lot more than just that amount. And as a parallel, if you had 86,400 rupees deposited in your bank account every single day, and someone just came along and stole 100 of that, or maybe 200 of that, or maybe 500 of that, would you spend all of that money that you were stolen from to recover that money? If someone just came in and stole 400 of the 86,400 that you get, would you spend all of that 86,000 trying to recover that 400? No, right? But we do that in real life. We do that in real life where if someone comes in and says something bad, something rude, something hurtful, something mean to us, and does that for those 400 odd seconds that they speak to us, we spend the rest of our day thinking about it. We spend the rest of our day completely wasting whatever is left of our day just because of that small 400, 300 that was stolen from us. We wouldn't do that in real life, but we do that every single day. We think of our time as something that is not valuable. And until we keep thinking of it as something that's not valuable, we will never be able to create value out of it. Time is an allocation, time is energy, and time is money. And if you know how to control your time, you can control anything in life. Until next week, I'll see you all. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that whenever we put up a new video, you're aware of it.